And there he is.
There we go.
There he is. Can you hear us?
I can. Let me just turn that up. Yeah. Hey, how we doing?
Doing good.
Is that good. Diane I see there?
Hi.
Hey, Diane. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Good to see you.
Hold on. I got to make something's not right. You there, Dave?
I certainly am. Can you hear me?
There we go. Now we hear you. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. You hear us good?
I can. It's good to see you all. And yeah.
Thank you.
We got a kind of is a blue screen going on behind you?
Yeah, we're on the we're in the studio.
It looks like you're about to shoot a Marvel film.
Exactly. We are.
You're going to be on a roller coaster in a minute, the way you sat. I can imagine.
Yeah, right. Hold on, guys. Hold on. and our chairs, they actually move. So
yeah, awesome.
This is a full motion experience here, Diane. I don't think you realize what you're getting yourself into. So anyway, I want to welcome everyone. A good afternoon, a good evening. It's great to be back here in the office. I was away last week, made a little of a guest appearance, and we have Diane with us today. So
hi.
Diane is sitting on my right, and then we have
your boy B Fox.
Yep, on the
What's
left.
Up,
and I'm gonna make this as, just bear with me one moment. We have someone coming in here as a guest. It looks like. Do we have someone playing as a guest?
No, what it might be is Dr. Mel was trying to get in to listen in, and I had to send her my link, so she might be coming through as my link.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Yeah,
so Dr. Mel, we love you, but I've downgraded you to an attendee. So all good, right? So I hope everyone's doing well. It's great to be back. And, the main thing is hope everyone's staying healthy. Great to see that first hand lifted already. And we all know who that's from. Travis.
Hey.
Travis. So, B Fox, how are you?
I'm doing real well. I'm excited to see my man Dave today. Dave and I were talking about some very cool writings he's been doing this week. And Dave, how does it feel to be an amazing author that has creative juices flowing right through your veins? That's what I want.
Well, time will tell. It's something I never take for granted. I'm feeling as inspired as I can be at the moment. Those of you that have been on the call the last week will know that, my wife's been in and out of hospital with problems with her back. She had spinal surgery just over a week ago. I think it was over a week ago, nearly 2 weeks now. I don't know.
About a week, yeah.
Yeah. So she's home recovering. I've been kind of trying to look after her as best as I can. Her movement's slowly coming back, but it's going to take a good few weeks. So all hands on deck, and I've been kind of trying to do as much as I can, with helping her kind of do everything, and then also look after the family as well, which is difficult to do with limited vision. So my eyes have been struggling. I actually had a really weird thing, which I know people out there with RP will be quite familiar with. I took my son Austin to the park earlier today to get him out the house because he's we've not been able to get out that much because I can't leave Amy on her own. And when I was at the park, because my eyes have been really tired, I took a real bad case of vertigo. So I went really, really dizzy, and my eyes just kind of gave way a little bit. Sorry
about that, guys.
What did that end up resulting in?
I just kind of I had to kind of take a minute and then just had to call time on Austin running around the park, and he helped me back home. But he's very good. Obviously he's very used to kind of to helping me when need, and he knows how to help me and what to do. So we just kind of made our way back home. Yeah, he's very good. He's very good like that, Austin.
That's great. It's nice to have a mini me, right?
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he certainly is that, and he makes me proud every day, and I'm very excited, for every day I get to see with him and experience things with him, and it's a true blessing. And I talk about all the time about how during lockdown, we've all been locked down together. For those of us that have our loved ones around us, it is a blessing. Can be a curse at times when we all get a bit stressed. I'm sure Diane will vouch for me on that one. Yeah.
Are you vouching for him on that one?
Absolutely. But it's been great. But listen, anyway, enough about me. This week, this month actually, we're into February already, which is crazy. This month is a very big month for lots of different things kind of happening. It is first of all, it's Low Vision Awareness Month.
That is correct.
It's also Retinitis Pigmentosa Awareness Month.
RP Alliance.
For all my RP brothers and sisters out there. And it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. And and Children's Mental Health Awareness Week at the moment as well here.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's the same in the States. And also Valentine's coming up soon as well.
When is Valentine's Day, by the way?
It's not this Sunday, the Sunday after.
It's on Sunday.
The 14th?
The 14th.
Yeah, the 14th.
Oh.
Sunday the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
First the Super Bowl, the important one, and then Valentine's Day.
Right.
Well,
Super Bowl.
the Ravens aren't in the Super Bowl, so it's not as important.
There's a Super Bowl this week?
What sport is that for?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So poetry wise, and kind of talking today, I'm so glad we got Diane in because, perfect for the discussion points. We touched on mental health with Dr. Mel last week quite a lot, and it was great.
What are you implying, Dave?
No, I'm just saying you are a brilliant person to be on the panel and a host talking about, mental health and well-being and feelings. You have that expertise. I'm not saying that you're mental. You are. I'm not saying
where
that.
I thought you were going, but okay.
Yeah, no, I can do if you want to. It's not a problem. I remember our night out.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. We went out. We went out for crab. We went out for crab, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Took me out for a crab dinner. So yeah. Anyway, so the poetry is definitely going to be reflecting that today. I want to try and get as many callers on as possible, and let's talk about all those things. I think I want to also plan. I've got a special guest in mind that I'm going to line up for next week as we go into Valentine's.
I think that would be very appropriate, especially for low vision awareness. Low vision awareness.
I want to kind of touch on a lot of the topics that we were talking about before about dating, being in a relationship, being in love as a visually impaired stroke blind person, which we're going to talk about next week, and I'll have some more poetry. But are you ready for a piece? I'll kick off.
Before you do that, I just want to go through a couple of housekeeping details here. If you guys want to get in contact with us, when I say get in contact with us, I mean right here, right now on TM Poetry. There are 3 ways you can do that. 1, you can raise your hand. There's a raise your hand button. 2, you can post something in the Q&A. Or 3, you can utilize the chat. Now, sometimes we're told that the chat's not working, but I believe it should be working, so we should be okay. Either way, Q&A, chat, raise your hand. If you raise your hand, that means that we are going to call upon you, and we will bring you into as a co-host, basically, a panelist. And when you join us as a panelist, we encourage you to have your video on. If you don't feel comfortable with the video on, no problem. Just keep the audio. We'll take you either way, whatever you feel comfortable with. So we want everyone to be feel comfortable in this wonderful environment. And it's just great to be back here in the office with the crew and on TM Poetry. So Dave, without further ado, please take it away.
Okay. When I was at the bottom, I couldn't see the road. The walls were closing in on me, my head fit to explode. But in my darkest hour, I saw a door ajar, a vision that no sight required, a distant glistening star. As blindness took my focus found a cause. I sailed through choppy waters, but in time regained my oars. Though I still lose sleep on worries, play out all that's still to come, I'm proud of what I stand for, all those battles I have won. Though these scars upon my forearms may be cries of yesteryear, they will serve as a reminder how I survived each hopeless fear. So in future, when I stumble, as no doubt I will once more, I won't panic, I won't fumble, isolate behind closed door. I'm prepared for days of blindness. To not see my lover's eyes doesn't mean my life is over, or from world I'll cut my ties. I have learned life's true importance, and it's not these things I see. So when they are gone, I'll carry on. Though blind, I'll still be me.
Okay, so Diane, do you want to go first since you are? I know first I want to make it clear. Diane always participates. I would say just about 100% of the time, and it's great that you stayed back to join us for here to be in the office.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, go ahead. Do you want to comment first?
Well, I guess the thing that struck me the most was the battles. It's. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Being visually impaired, it's not all battles, but there's a heck of a lot of battles, little battles, big battles, medium battles, but it's true. It's everyone that you conquer, you get more self-confident, more self-assured, and you realize that you can do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Diane, are you reading my notes?
I wish I could.
I'm trying to show Ben as like what I wrote
I
here.
can't read what you wrote.
Battles, and you hit it. You hit it on the nail.
Yeah, it's the battles that make us stronger and that make us that show the world who we are, how we deal with the battles.
And I think we touched on it last week. We're so quick to forget the battles we've already been through,
Yeah.
and use them as a reminder of what we're actually capable of. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I want to say, prepared for blindness, right? And we've talked about this on many occasions. And I know, Dave, you also talk about this plenty of times as far as, do I start using a cane? When do I start using a mobility cane? When do I start using devices? Ben and I were on a call with an individual. We're not going to mention any names. We were on a call with that individual earlier today, and he was saying that he's still going in the direction he is now as far as not using any assistive technology, not making any real, adjustments, right? As far as what he's doing, he's really wants to continue to push it to the max with his current level of sight, even though it is deteriorating. And he does not use a mobility cane. He doesn't have O&M training. And it just really, it stuck in me because I remember when we had, with Joe, right? Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Yep. Joe Rizzo. Yeah, exactly. Nowdy. And he specifically, and it's always, and he's a young individual. And this individual he's still young, who I'm talking about. He's still young. He's got a long way to go. But when Joe came on and said that I wish that I would not have waited this long to take on my O&M skills, it always stuck in me. And until this day, and this was like last year sometime we was on, right? And we have people that come into the office, and I speak with a lot of people as well. I'm talking about individuals who are reaching out to us for advice on assistive technology and, everything when it comes to sight loss. And because of that specific conversation that we had when Joe was a guest with us, prepared for blindness has always been at the forefront. And I tell people, again, of all ages, it's, like you said, it's never too early. So I want to stress that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I did a piece of poetry actually about that. That starts off, I've secretly been practicing for how my life might be. Something the day for the days when I can't see. And I think a lot of us kind of do it. I know when I first got my guide dog, nearly 7 years ago now, which is crazy. Is it 6 years ago? 7 years, 6 years, maybe. Anyway, no, it's 6 years, nearly 6 years. When I got Christopher, I remember closing my eyes while working him, just to try and get a sense of how it might feel when I lose the rest of my vision. And I remember it absolutely terrifying me, just kind of like a jolt. But then the more I kind of did it, and the more I talked about doing it, the more I kind of got comfy with it. And I think a lot of us maybe don't talk about this sort of stuff, but a lot of us who are, almost blind or slowly losing our sight, we do have these little things where we practice, or we try and prepare ourselves. And there's different ways we can do that.
Ben.
Yeah.
Saved you for last.
So the one thing I noticed on that, Dave, is you talked about not isolating, being on the other side of the door. I have a question for you though, specifically.
Mhm.
When you talk really deeply about, and I'm just going to say the scars on your wrist, okay? Because I know.
And we're not talking about from the pain from the
Right.
tattoos.
No, we're talking about
Yeah.
some dark times. Like, how do you get the courage to just be bold and talk about that? And then number two, have you always been that way, or was there like a decisive point in your life when you said, I just need to share it? Because I respect you so much for that. Thank you for being brave,
Well, first of all, I want to point out, for those that don't know, the time when I talk about the scars on my wrists, and there had been previous attempted suicides in my earlier years. None of it was sight loss or low vision related. This was all beforehand. This was all when I was basically homeless for periods in my life and didn't really have anyone as far as family concerned, and things like that, and just felt very kind of on my own. And having been through those times, exactly like we were just talking about what Diane was saying, having been through those kind of really dark times in my early 20s, that kind of gave me the strength to be able to deal with things a lot better now. And even though I had a lot of dark times, and struggled with anxiety and depression when I first started to lose my sight, and still do now to a certain degree at times, it's nowhere near like it was back then. And going back to the first part of your question, how, like, back then, I was on my own, so I didn't really talk about it. There wasn't anyone to talk about it with. So I just kind of used to put on a front. I worked in entertainment, as you know, at the time. I was a singer, so I'd have to literally kind of, it's, the tears of a clown. You know what I mean by that song. And it literally was, you'd go on stage, or you'd be you'd be working, and you'd be in that mode. And as soon as you finish, you'd go quiet and you go back. And that's something that's always kind of stayed with me. So, mental health, we're talking about mental health awareness this month. And, I try and talk about it every day. All these things that are happening in this month is how I live every single day, and how I know, you guys do as well. We try and raise awareness 365.
No joke.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, with regards to mental health, I think that it seems to be, there's the male suicide rate we know is a lot higher, and guys don't tend to talk as much as women do. So if I can put myself out there and use the means of poetry and getting out and just talking like this, to kind of help people feel more comfortable about it, then that's got to be a good thing. If a guy with a big beard and tattoos can talk about feeling weak at times, and how it's nothing to be ashamed of, then hopefully that'll make a difference for people.
Absolutely. So
for me, my friend. Thanks so much.
all right. By the way, Dr. Mel, thank you so much for your comments that you're sharing through the Q&A. Apparently the chat is not working, so just post in the Q&A. And then Dr. Mel, I've actually upgraded your title, your name here, so it is properly reflected instead of just Dave Steele, the Blind Poet. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to go ahead and bring on Travis, who is our official #1 panelist that we always bring in. Travis, I hope you're ready. Travis, you can just unmute yourself. There he is.
Hello there.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Barry. Hello, David Steele. How's it going?
Hey, Travis. Good to hear you.
Definitely. It's good to hear you guys too, as well.
Thank you. Thank you. How are things doing on the West Coast today?
Everything's going great. We're all doing well, staying healthy, and everything in between. And I see we have a guest speaker on today.
Well, not a guest speaker, but we have an actual guest my dear colleague Diane Ducharme. She is sitting to my right.
Hi, Travis.
Hello there. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
And
I'm wonderful, thanks.
For those of you who do not know, Diane is the host of the Sight Loss Support Group of Baltimore and Beyond, which meets on the third Tuesday of every month.
Yes.
Got to give a shameless plug there for you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Dave Steele has actually had the honor of co-hosting in person right where we are sitting. That is where that's
Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And of course, I have Mr. B. Fox over to my left.
What's up, Travis?
Hello,
Can I
B.
just
How you doing?
Doing good, brother.
can I just say I can't tell you how much I'm missing you guys and wish that I was right, sat there with you now.
You know what? We have the space. We will. We look forward to that day when you do return. I think it's sooner than later.
I hope so.
Yeah, how cool is that going to be when we
Oh
we do
my
our
God.
first tea and poetry
Oh,
from the office together? That's going to be awesome.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah. So hey, real quick, I just wanted to share something with you guys. So our friend Kristen Smedley, who really got the bandwagon regarding her two sons and so forth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, her book Thriving Blind is available on the Bard mobile app.
Oh, very nice.
Wow. That's
So
awesome, actually.
I just want you to know you can get it in the audio version, and it's so easy to download as long as you have a Bard account and you have it downloaded on any of your devices.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Shout out to Kristen.
Yeah,
Yep.
shout out to
Go
we love
Kristen Smedley.
Kristen. We love Kristen. We need to get her back on, actually.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I have a question, Travis asking. I won't hold anything against you. First of all, will you be watching the Super Bowl?
You know what? I don't really, I don't know if I
Do you know which sport the because I'm trying. No, I'm just kidding. I do. It's American football. I actually do know that.
Yeah. So no plans to watch. No Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, we may not. Probably, I have a feeling we may not do it.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it, but at least we know it's happening. But of course, it's going to be different this year.
Correct. Do you have a preference who might win that game?
Not really.
Not
I mean,
really.
Anybody but Tom Brady. That's
Oh.
Mike.
Well, that will be only one other choice.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
That's right. That's right. I don't care who's playing. I'm still eating.
There she is.
There,
That's
yeah, that's right. I want to know what do you got? What are you
Deanna?
serving?
What,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
what we
yeah.
having?
Soft pretzels. Have to have soft pretzels.
ooh,
Jalapeno bites.
Uh-huh.
You know.
You just got me hungry.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
hungry.
soft pretzels.
Uh-huh.
Chicken poppers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some pop or some Douggies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Doggies.
Douggies is a local restaurant here in Baltimore, so it's one of
Yeah.
our. It's
I
a
love
favorite.
doggies.
I think it's
Douggies is
I think
great.
it's the official restaurant of the Blind Dance Film
Yeah.
Festival.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure.
I need to get back to Dougie's.
Yes, but it's funny you mentioned soft pretzels, Diane, because in the Northeast here in Baltimore, we received a nice snowstorm here earlier
Yes,
in the
we
week.
did.
But up in New York, where I live, we received actually a significantly larger storm. It was like probably we got like 15, 16 inches.
The video was incredible of the snowstorm.
Yeah, we're due some again. We had some actually. It was strange. After last week's call, I came off and it had snowed all the way through while we were speaking. I just
Wow.
looked out the window and we were covered. And we had some a few days ago and we're due some again over the next few days. So yeah.
So yeah, and I think Diane mentioned that Diane's in charge of the weather, so
Yes.
she can put in the request if we want snow, warm sun and all that stuff. But but you mentioned soft pretzels, so I went shopping last Sunday before the storm, and to stock up, and I specifically bought like 2 big boxes of hot pretzels.
Yeah.
So
Love them.
I think we're gonna have to share them
Ooh.
for Super Bowl.
There you go.
Travis, I would invite you to come over, but
But I'm far away.
yeah,
Maybe if
No.
we lived around the block, we could totally do that or something.
perhaps.
My brother lives in Pennsylvania and they got 31 inches of snow.
Ooh.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
That's more than 2 feet.
Almost
Uh-huh.
3 feet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I will say that I did get off a little easy with the snowstorm, even though we got a significant amount. My neighbor to my left of my house has 2 snow blowers, but
Oh,
I went out there at the end of the day and I said, he said, the snowblowers are available whenever I want them. So I said, great. So I went out there. I worked in the house all day long, went out there, and he goes, Barry, my snowblowers won't work. They can't handle the snow. Like, what do you mean? But I said, I saw you outside snowblowing. He goes, oh, I borrowed that from the guy across the street. And I'm like, I said, you think Jack would mind? He goes, well, you got to ask him. So I text Jack. I said, Jack, can I please borrow your snowblower? And this was like a heavy duty snowblower. I mean, it's got like 6 different gears as far as speed wise. It's got a reverse. You be able to rotate the chute and up and down. I mean, it was incredible. He said, of course, go for it. Barry snowblowed the entire driveway, walkway. I even made a path to go to the backyard because it was so easy. It plowed right through. It went right through everything. And they had plowed our street early in the day. And so if you know how they plow here, they plow you in. And it's usually like you're like blockaded to get out of your driveway. It's just too much for the car to go over. But this snowblower, it just went right through it. Went right through it. So very, very fortunate. I know he's not watching, and he would never be watching this, but a big shout out and thank you to Jack.
Well done, Jack.
Yes. So, all right. Let's see. Travis, how are things at the Home Depot?
Things are going great for me at Home Depot, just staying busy, helping out customers, helping out in appliances here and there, manning the telephones. And the whole 9 yards. You've just been doing very well in the numbers with us being the essential retailer.
Yep.
And actually, now that you mention it, if you have a neighbor who needs to get a snowblower or something, maybe he should go to the Home Depot near you, just because they might be having their sales, to get ready for the spring stuff.
Oh, there you go. I will tell them when they check out to enter the discount coupon code Travis, and they will get 50% off that snowblower.
Well, we don't do employee discounts, but sometimes there might be some clearance items too that have to be replaced with new models. That's another thing.
Right. No, I know. I'm just joking around, but
good one.
Can you imagine someone to go out there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here to check out. I'm like, well, Travis said I get 50% off. Who's Travis?
Who's Travis? Yeah.
From Tea and Poetry.
You don't know.
I got the Travis Tea and Poetry discount.
That's right. That's right. Tea and Poetry discount at Home Depot.
Look at Dave Steele.
That would be a trip.
That would be a trip, wouldn't it?
It would.
So, Travis, I have looks like I have a couple other guests that are waiting to come on. So I'm going to send you back over to the other side. Don't worry, it's not the dark side. No, it's not the dark side. It's just the other side. But you are always
welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you.
With the chat being down at the moment,
the Q&A is there. The Q&A is.
Oh, so we can do a Q&A then. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. Good. People, we're getting plenty of stuff coming through the Q&A.
I think we should do a Q&A. Or a poll. Can we do a poll?
Yeah, you want to do a poll?
Let's do a poll.
I will prepare the poll. What would you like the poll to be? And I'm going to prepare it right now.
Well, let's go with what Ben was just asking me. Do you feel comfortable talking to people about anxiety and depression or mental health?
Do you feel comfortable discussing anxiety? And what was it?
Yeah, anxiety, depression, or mental health.
Do you feel comfortable discussing anxiety, depression, or mental health
with people?
And you want that to be a yes or a no?
Yeah, simple.
Okay. Let me. Yes. No. Okay, guys.
Be as honest as you can be.
Okay.
It's going to be a good poll.
All right, guys.
Right or wrongs. Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this will work now. Okay. No, we don't. I need to make it one more edit. Sorry, guys. It was a little bit of a edit. Delete. Okay.
While you're doing that, I want to read another piece of poetry before we bring the next person on.
Okay, it's the poll is
Poll's live.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. the theme that we were talking about on that poetry is kind of something that's really on my mind at the moment. You know, talking about mental health and talking about people being prepared for blindness and what they do, because I get a lot of messages asking for advice when people have read poetry, you know, through the week and stuff. And I wrote a piece on Sunday, just gone, and it talks about how something that we talked about last week, actually, about how when I'm struggling or thinking about stuff, I think about the legacy that I'm leaving for my children, and how they look to me. So you're going to get from this. No title, and it goes like this. As vision fades, I'm not afraid of how my life will be. I don't need perfect sight to make these days the best for me. And yes, there's stress and things I'll miss, but I'm not focused on the endless blur or how things were when useful vision's gone. I need to show my children, just in case one day they face their own journey with blindness, show them how to find their place. My footsteps in the sand won't be the road that they must walk. They'll be inspired when eyes get tired to open up and talk. So I'm not scared of going blind. I know I will adapt. Won't find me isolated or by anxiety trapped. With swipe of cane, it can't contain my love for life is strong. And I know that despite what may come in the sun, I do belong.
We all belong in the sun.
Could do with some.
Diane, anyone? Dan?
I want to comment about the footsteps in the sand, that they don't need to follow those. And what I thought of right away is hopefully they won't need to follow those because of medical advancements. And
yeah, absolutely. You know, but it's also, you know, I've seen people lost in that kind of rabbit hole of waiting for a treatment or a cure, and it can be quite a dangerous place to kind of hang on to that kind of, you know, because there's so many trials and things going on for just something like RP, and I'd get sent, you know, but by people, you know, friends from school and old friends, you know, who you know, don't mean anything by it, but they'll see an article somewhere and send it me. So, you know, and so, but I've spoke to a lot of people in the past who have kind of been so focused on that they kind of, is there something now? How long is it going to be? And they're waiting, and they forget to live the lives because they're holding out for that. So, you know, when I think about my children, I always say, okay, well, you know, if it does come to that, I'm going to show them everything that's possible, and they're going to look to me and go, well, actually, although Dad had his challenges, it didn't stop him doing amazing things and being this person that I looked up to. And that's really important. And that about what you said about not following my footsteps, they don't have to go down the same route and do what I do. You know, it's not, you know, like we talk about normalizing low vision and normalizing blindness, and, you know, achieving amazing things isn't, you know, being just being a poet or an author or, you know, whatever, you know, speaking at events. You know, they can be in whatever job they want to do and be amazing at that. And that's why I put that.
Yeah. And to go, I guess, to be the devil's advocate in a way, the amazing thing, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one where you're just, you know, walking down the street with your cane and somebody comes up to you, you're amazing. No, I'm just living my life.
No, exactly. 100%. Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, I've had people say to me, you know, friends that I've met, you know, through doing this, and they'll say, oh, I hate when people say I inspire them. I don't like it when people say, oh, you know, you're such an inspiration. And I understand exactly what you were just saying there about it's not being an inspiration doing the normal things. But I think it's been an inspiration inspiring other people in the way that, you know, I try and do with my poetry. And I think, Diane, what you do with the low vision support and the help and how you put yourself out there, that's inspiring. You going about your normal day isn't inspiring. That's just being you. Yeah. Being a mum isn't inspiring. You're just doing, you're just doing you. But, you know, we do other inspiring things.
Yes, we do.
By the way, for those of you, just FYI, I want to just point it out. So I came into the office today wearing a Blind Dance Film Festival hoodie.
That's right. That's right.
B Fox coincidentally came in wearing a Blind Dance Film
It's
Festival
my favorite
hoodie.
article of clothing.
But
I
Diane
need
didn't.
some blind dance merch in my life.
You know what? I think we can get some over there. But Diane didn't get the message today. So
No,
luckily,
Diane's
luckily-
wearing black like me though, so she's wearing black, isn't she?
yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So,
but-
we're
but-
both wearing black.
but Diane goes, I got my Blind Dance baseball cap, and she pulled it right out of her bag.
That's what I'm talking about.
Flip that head. Let me see that. Bring it. There it is. There it is. Yes, we will get some Blind Dance merchandise over the pond.
So I want to get real for a minute on the fact that you guys, to me though, are an inspiration for being parents. I want to touch on that for a minute because it's like Barry, out of anybody on camera right now, I'm the only one that's not a dad or a father. I mean,
That
you're not a dad. You're not a dad. Over there, Diane. But I'm just saying, the parenting, like I'm not even sure what that would be like. And when I was 18 years old, I had detached retinas in both my eyes. They told me that I'm gonna have more problems with my eyes, and they weren't quite sure at that time, but I found out later it was retinitis pigmentosa. I was so afraid to have kids, and it never occurred to me that I would be in my late 30s and not have a child.
Hey, listen, my dad, God rest his soul, he was 60 when I was born.
Wow.
So you've got time yet. You've got, I'm not saying
You got
wait till
time.
you're 60, but you will be an amazing dad, B. You will be an amazing dad. Any kid who has you as a dad will be very, very lucky.
And to piggyback on what Dave's saying, if your child should happen to have RP, who's going to be the best teacher than you?
Uh-huh.
Well, Uncle Dave, of course.
Well, listen, I've spoke about this. The tattoo
And
that
Uncle
I have.
Dave is paying all college tuition. Is that true?
Oh, I'd be happy if he just sent some books to the kids on
We'll see
Christmas.
about that. The tattoo I have on my right arm, which I got when Austin was born, and I spoke about it before, and I'll remind you, and it's exactly what you just said about those questions that you've got. It's a song. It's a line from a song called "The Day You Gave Me a Son" by a singer and producer, a writer called Babyface. The line is, "It's like a song I've never heard, I've never sung, but know the words." And to me, that is being a parent, and that's what it was like for me. I was so nervous when Ellie was born, nearly, just over 13 years ago now. I remember being so scared when she was born about all these questions. How was I going to, manage to look after this little thing? And, was it going to be a good dad and everything else? And it was like a song I never heard, I never sung, but know the words. When she was born, it just clicked and it felt natural. And I remember having a conversation with Amy, and this is the honest truth, before Austin was born. And I honestly, she laughed at me. Well, she didn't laugh at me like funny, but she couldn't believe I was saying it in the way. I remember saying to her, I'm really scared about Austin being born because I don't know if I've got enough love in my heart to love both of them. I was nervous that, how I was going to, and it just, it becomes natural. And I've no doubt it will be natural to you.
Wow.
Yep. And Doreen, she says that you will be a good dad. Thank you, Doreen, for sharing that.
Love you, Doreen. Thank you.
Louise says hello to us here.
Hey, Louise.
Let's just, I'm going to bring on Dr. Mel for a quick hello.
Yeah, let's do that.
Actually, she just disappeared. Well, Dr. Mel, raise your hand again if you want to come back. I think. And we got a phone call.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dr. Mel, you can just.
Did that work?
There it
I'm
worked.
in. All right. Oh my
Sorry,
gosh.
Doc.
I am so happy to be here. The energy, listening to you guys. I'm like, oh my God. This is going to be a weekly habit for me because it's so energizing.
Can I just say once again, a big, massive thank you for you being our guest last week. It was so great. And I want to, I know Barry couldn't be with us for the entire call last week, but I just want to really say how you got the conversation going, and you got people who wouldn't normally want to engage. You got everyone engaged last week, and it was great.
Hold on, I just gotta say what Dr. Mel did. Dr. Mel just took her hands and formed to them together a heart.
Oh, thank you.
I see
Yeah, thanks for the image description. That was
My
awesome.
pleasure. Hey.
I don't want to interrupt.
No, but that was something that required an interruption.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I have learned from you guys. So Diane, I just want to call out and say, hey, we need to talk. I'm in the legally cited ally community right now, but I can't read shit without my glasses. So who among us is not visually impaired? I'm working on the Wiki Blind project, and so much of what we're doing is about mental health. It's about getting people who are depressed and alone and disenfranchised, sighted or blind, connected in with meaningful activities. We are looking for people that are in your group. We're looking for you so that we can say, hey, do you want to be part of the free knowledge movement? Because we've got this stuff that we're doing with Wiki Blind, bringing people into the Wikipedia world so that you're not just consuming it, you're participating and helping make it better. So that's Wiki Blind, and I want to talk to you after the call.
Dr. Mel wants you, like Uncle Sam wants you.
No, I'm way better than Uncle Sam.
Okay, good. I think we know
let
that.
Uncle Sam ignore you. But yeah, so really excited to be back. Being with you guys last week was mind-blowing and life-changing for me. Just the validation of having you hear me. So Travis and Estelle, follow-ups and just knowing that the work I've been doing, Dave, like you have, that sense of, I have to do this. I have to put my content out there. I'm prepping to get in touch with the US Department of Education. The Secretary of Education just went through confirmation hearings today. And I'm prepping for a call to the head of the United States Education to bring the squid stuff to them.
Woo,
awesome, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, so
I need to talk to you more soon. But before I hand the mic back, I want to say thank you again. Couple of the ideas that I was, Barry, when you said prepare for blindness, I just love that idea, that cell. We should be teaching blindness skills from first grade or kindergarten on to every child, sighted, blind. They need to be able to operate in the dark. They should learn deafness skills. They need to be able to operate in the quiet. And then the mobility skills, and all of those experiences should be embedded in our education system. So that's part of what I'm working on. Walking a mile.
I agree.
Yeah. And just, we can call it walk a mile in my shoes. Here's a cane, close your eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like if I'm with a group of people and we're in a dark place or something, suddenly I'm the popular one because I'm the one who's going to be able to get them out.
Totally.
Well,
totally. And
we've sorry, go. No, carry on. I'll say something in a second.
I'll wrap up. Yeah, Kirk Adams gave me a line that I absolutely love. Disability is contextual. And that whole thing about, you're going to be able to do a whole lot more with your eyes closed than I can because you've learned how. Yeah. So I'm still a noob.
There definitely needs to be more. There definitely needs to be more education within schools and things like that. I know over previous weeks we spoke about my children's books and the concept with that, and we've talked about how in like mainstream schools. I know it's the same here. My wife works in a what we call a primary school here in the UK, which would be an elementary school in the States. And, in a mainstream school, you have lots of children mixing with different challenges. And that could be, someone with low vision. It could be someone with a hearing impairment. It could be someone with autism, ADHD, lots of different challenges. But we don't do anything as far as education within the schools of those different challenges and teaching other children, especially children who are not affected by any of these challenges, how these things are, and how these children that are dealing with these challenges are just like them.
Right.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more of that. So yeah, absolutely.
Can I describe to you one of the best learning experiences I have ever seen for teaching perspectives? It's called the Living Library. It originated, it's based on some models by the Human Library, which is this very precise organization, but living libraries give you a chance to check out a human being. And the library book is a human who is willing to share their stories, to answer questions about what is it like to be you.
I love that.
Yeah,
It is genius in that it takes the labels that you put on us, you know, those Library of Congress labels. So you're blind and you're a poet. You're a filmmaker and you're a poet. You're a parent and you're blind, and all of those labels. And then it humanizes at this extreme level of we are humans first with these different characteristics. These are the roles we play. These are the traits we have. But talking to somebody one-on-one that comes from a different experience transcends the stereotypes. And we're in a position to do this on Zoom. So Dave, you and I can talk more about that too.
Yeah. Definitely.
So living libraries, walk a mile in my shoes. I was going to finish by telling you guys, Courtney Mazzola, who I don't know if any of you know, she's a dear friend, totally blind, took me out for a walk in her neighborhood, blindfolded with one of her extra canes for an hour. So I'm walking along behind the blind woman, the blind leading the sighted, and we had so much fun. We passed a few kids and I could tell that they were like curious. So I invited them to try walking with her extra stick, and she walked them through a couple of O&M things.
Did you just call it a stick?
I know, right?
Jump on that.
Dude, is that still offensive? I've been told that's offensive, right? Okay.
We'll
I
make
would
sure
use
this
a
gets
stick
edited
because
out.
I'm not allowed to use a white cane. I'm too sighted to be allowed to use a white cane. So anyway, yes, I apologize. Thanks for the correction. I'm still learning.
That's quite all right.
I wanted to take it one step further. I know
baby.
I personally had the opportunity to go hiking in the mountains of Sedona.
That's
Yeah.
And my guide was Sedona Dave. So
He
I
was
had
there.
a legally blind guide taking me through the mountains of Sedona
With
Beautiful.
with
a hiking game.
with a hiking cane called the Wild Thing.
Oh, I saw your video on that. That's amazing.
It was amazing.
I want one of those. So,
We'll talk
because
about
then
that.
you can hike in the dark, right?
You can hike. It doesn't matter.
That would be
Well,
useful.
What
I mean-
about the wolves and the?
Well, it's a hiking
Stuff.
cane, but
Yeah.
then you might use it as a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Harpoon.
shout out to
Multifunctional.
Sedona Dave, who
I'm
is out
Thank
Thank
there.
you guys. I'll
Thank
hand
you,
the mic
Dr. Mel.
back.
Bye, Dr. Mel.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Talk to you
Thanks
later.
for coming on. We'll
So-
see you next week.
Before here I am taking over everything, but
Nope.
before we run out of time, I would like to hear from somebody who's never spoken up on tea and poetry.
Mm.
Good
About
challenge. I like
any-
that.
About any topic we were discussing today.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, we're at 69% of individuals out there have completed their vote. 69%. So if you haven't voted already, click on the polls. There should be a button there for you. Click on the polls and please vote. Do you feel comfortable discussing anxiety, depression, or mental health with people? It's a simple yes or no. We don't know who you are, how you answer. It's all private, so don't be shy.
When we've talked about mental health, I've always talked about this thing, and I kind of touch on it every week in a lot of the poetry, where I talk about, our past experiences, kind of shaping the future and giving us the strength to deal with the challenges going forward. And I spoke, I think it wasn't last week, maybe the week before, saying about how, it's like a wheel, it's ever that ever evolving wheel. And do you remember me saying how there was a Greek philosopher, and I couldn't for the life
Yes.
of me remember the name. I know it now, and I have it here. It was from someone called Boethius. Do we know who Boethius is?
Negative.
No. Okay. And the quote is, "It's my belief that history is a wheel. Inconsistency is my very essence," says the wheel. "Rise up on my spokes if you like, but don't complain where you are cast back down into the depths. Good times pass away, but then so do the bad. Mutability is our tragedy, but it is also our hope. The worst of times, like the best, are always passing away." And that is so, so true for a lot of the topics that we talk about, how, you know, we know that when we're having those tough times, that like anything in life, it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Very true. So Diane is requesting someone who has never spoken up before.
To raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
And we'll bring you in.
We'll bring you in. Please, someone who has never spoken before.
And Travis, don't change your voice.
Nah. Hey, and he could do it. He could do it. By the way, Derek, good to see you on. Thanks for the shout out earlier. So I didn't get a chance to recognize you. Hope you're doing well and didn't get buried in there with all that snow.
And you don't have to come on camera, by the way. You can
That's
just
correct.
Come on,
Yeah.
just
That
your
is
voice.
correct. Someone out there who is being shy, just want to say a quick hello. We don't bite. We're like the easiest of the easiest here. And we'd love for you to come on. So, yeah. Anyone out there? I guess we have a lot of shy people tonight.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and look at the polls. I'm going to, we got to, well, I'm going to bring on this person. He's definitely, he's visited us before. He's coming on right now. Just going to ask him to unmute right now. And Sedona Dave, please unmute.
Wow.
My man, what's up?
You there, Dave? Dave?
Hi, guys.
Hey,
There he is.
Hey, Dave, how we doing?
I got horrible news for you guys. I unmuted about 10 seconds ago. I'm sitting here with my mouth closed. I'm not talking. So yeah, I'm
good.
unmuted. I just have to start talking.
That's all you
I'm trying
got
to
to
get
do.
video going for you guys to see this background.
Let's see if I can ask.
Oh,
here,
there it is, the video.
Here, ask to
Hi.
start video. Here it is.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Let me take
Can
a
we
quick-
audio describe
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
that's
Sedona Dave is sitting on.
good luck.
Hold on. Let me give me a little bit of a little bit to your right and to your left. Let me just
No,
take.
wait, is he in his hot tub?
Okay, no. Okay, let me. Now I got it. Okay, so Sedona
No, I'm
Dave
not.
is. Hold on, I'm gonna take this one step further. Hold on one second.
With his rubber ducky?
Hold on one second. Sedona Dave is sitting on the lower deck of his front yard,
We're back.
somewhere I believe in front of the fire pit. Is that correct? Are you sitting in front of the fire pit? Yeah, oh, yes, it is. Right there.
All right.
Fire pit is right there to Sedona Dave's right. And behind, above Sedona Dave, we got these big puffy clouds. It seems like the sun did make it across the country today, so that was a good thing. Dave and I had spoken earlier this morning. He said the sun
Yes.
hasn't. He said the sun hasn't arrived yet. I assured him that it will be there shortly. Let's see what else is going on there. So we have these big puffy clouds, and then we have some beautiful red rock mountains out in the distance, along with some trees and some shrubbery and some other houses. But the mountain range off to Sedona Dave's right is that red rock. If you were to move your, I gotta keep going a little more to Snoopy so we can see Snoopy out there. I don't know if we can see it out there, but there is a mountain out there called a piece of mountain called Snoopy. Sedona Dave, you want to share with everyone talk to us about Snoopy?
Absolutely. Snoopy Rock is actually a red rock formation off, trying to get a picture. It's off my left shoulder. It's sitting at the top of a red rock structure, and in profile, it's almost exactly like Snoopy laying on his back on his doghouse. And word has that Charles M. Schultz lived or visited, I think lived here in Sedona for a big portion of his life, and was inspired by these formations to develop Snoopy, Lucy, Walt Disney. Oh, okay. Walt Disney, in this direction, Thunder Mountain. If you can see Thunder Mountain by the house, he was inspired by Thunder Mountain to build his ride down in Disney World. So,
that's where Thunder Mountain from Magic Kingdom was comes from. Dave?
you are correct.
Oh, wow.
And that is Thunder Mountain right behind the house. Yes.
Oh wow!
Ah,
I didn't
great
realize that.
So Sedona has been very inspirational to a lot of creators. Okay, there's Snoopy. I'm sorry for pointing you in the wrong direction. Snoopy is
Straight out. Yeah, straight out there. Yeah.
there, straight out.
Hey, Dave, this is Diane. And
when I get a better camera,
Dave.
hi Diane, I
Hey,
know
Dave.
you.
How are
Yes.
you?
Hey,
Um,
amazing.
I hate to cut you off, but I gotta go. My son keeps texting me, "I'm here to pick you up," and so
Oh, it is 5 o'clock.
Which son
So,
is
you
it,
know.
man? Which son is it?
it's Luke.
The young one that just started driving?
Yeah, the young one who just started driving got a speeding
Wow.
ticket.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Right on.
so Leadfoot is here. So
Awesome.
I'm
Diane,
looking forward to getting to go on a drive with Luke.
Okay, all right. So
Cool.
I'll see everybody later. Thank
Thank you,
Thank
Dan.
you,
Hold on. We're
Diane.
still sticking.
You too.
Bye,
Yeah,
Dan.
you're staying.
Give my love to everyone.
hi Diane.
Everyone, they say goodbye. Just watch the wires, and you're good to go forward, straight out, right over the wire. You're good to go. Perfect. Bye.
See you later.
Sedona Dave, by the way, you have 2 inbound aircraft above you. I just have to point that out. You got
Oh,
a
my.
UPS 757 above coming. Will be off to your left, and then you'll have a Delta 767 as well.
Everybody, Barry has an app on his phone that tells him what every plane in the sky is, and he loves it. He some people bird watch. My man Barry, he plane spots. Isn't that the term?
Plane spots, yes.
Plane spotting.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yes. So
Pretty
you
cool.
this
So-
should be
so-
the 75, the UPS, which will be a little closer to you. So
Is my package on that?
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question. So, but things are looking
I
good.
will keep my eyes on. Yes, as I was saying, one more thing about video, Barry. When I get that webcam mounted on the roof, I'm looking at some amazing cameras with some really good zoom capabilities. When I get that in place, I will zoom into Snoopy for you guys and
Oh, nice.
really highlight what we have to offer here in Sedona. That's a huge thought going on in my head now. So
The guys,
I will
you
keep
just
you
hear that?
posted.
We're
Stay
gonna have a
tuned.
live stream camera based in Sedona, Arizona, giving you pretty much 24-hour feed. That's incredible. That is incredible.
Yes, so some
So-
good looking cameras on the market.
Good. I know you like cameras.
Love cameras.
Awesome. So, Dave, stay with us on here while we wrap things up. I do want to come back to the polls here for a second. Oh, and for someone who actually just asked, Dr. Mel, I use Flight Radar 24. Flight Radar 24 is the app if anyone is interested in seeing what's above all around the world. Flight Radar 24. Fantastic. Okay. So we're going to end the poll right now. And for those of you who participated, I thank you very much. We thank you very much. And it appears that 88% of you guys, 88% with a strong yes, say that they feel comfortable discussing anxiety, depression, or mental health with people. So that is awesome.
Wow.
That's strong.
Very strong. And I would say probably the 12% of people, maybe they came from maybe from the UK. Dave, you always mentioned that people in the UK are a little more tight-lipped. Is that right?
Yeah.
You've always said here in the US, everything goes, right?
You say more of that came from the UK.
No,
tonight?
I'm just joking with you. I can't tell.
Right,
There's
okay.
no way to tell. But I'm joking around. But yeah, it's but 88% said yes. So there you go. Look at that. That is good. So, Dave, I have a surprise for you
Oh,
for next week.
okay.
I hope it'll be finished by next week.
Okay.
The man off to my left, Mr. B Fox, knows what I'm talking about. I hope he didn't spill the beans yet.
No,
Did you
no.
spill the beans?
I spill no beans.
Good.
Dave, why does he always assume I spill the beans? I don't know.
A surprise for me next week, and now I'm intrigued.
Yes, I have a surprise for you.
Okay,
I have a surprise for you.
a surprise for me, like for tea and poetry next week, or another time next week before tea and poetry.
You know what? Maybe we'll unveil it at Tea and Poetry.
Okay. Okay.
I'll leave it like that.
Okay. So tune in next week to find out what the surprise will be. If that's not leaving you on a cliffhanger to get more people watching next week, find out what the big surprise is next week. Is it next week yet?
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be ready next week. I hope we'll be able to unveil it. And I do hope so. That would be the plan. May not be finalized, but yes, it is, Louise. It is very cryptic, yes. But to keep it a surprise, we got to. That's what we got to be.
I'm intrigued.
So,
is it cake?
Is it what?
Is it cake?
No, it's not a cake.
No.
Everybody loves cake.
I'll say one thing.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna say anything actually.
Oh,
I'll say
This guy.
I'll say three words.
Tease.
Tea and poetry. How's that? I'll just say it like that. Tea and poetry.
Today we'll call it teas and poetry.
Yeah, totally.
No, I cannot divulge. But if you try with Mr. Fox, you will not be successful.
No success.
I'm good with surprises.
So even Sedona Dave doesn't know.
No, okay. I'm very intrigued.
Sedona Dave, he has like the ability to guess things though. He's a good guesser. He's got a good intuition.
Hey, Luis just says gin and poetry.
Yeah.
No, but Dave, it's been a very energetic call this afternoon / evening, and I hope everyone enjoyed. And we close things out with Dave reading us a piece of poetry, and the floor is yours, Dave.
Yeah. So this is one. I think it's from Stand By Me RP Volume 3, and it's a really good one for RP Awareness Month and Low Vision Awareness Month. And it's about raising awareness outside of our community. And this one's entitled Think. Have you ever stopped to think about just how your life might be? If one day your vision faded, loved ones' faces couldn't see. If the things you took for granted became much harder for you to do, all the while you show no outward sign, so the world will have no clue. Would you feel like you're a prisoner, confined by hazy walls, consumed by anxious feelings in these busy shopping malls? If your ever-fading eyes began to make you feel no use, retreating from the outside world, becoming blind recluse? Could you fight for independence, find your way with your long cane, while seeing looks from passers-by, trying not to feel ashamed? If you were treated with suspicion, because they don't understand how you can see some things, but then for others need a hand. Every day a misconception that will try and hold us back. But we can do amazing things despite the sight we lack. For though I'm partially sighted, there is so much more to me. A glimpse into my blurry world, living with this RP.
I want to. I know, Dave, we like to end it off with your poetry, but I want to just say something as a side, because you touched on some words there that I think really hit home with me personally. And I'm wearing a mask right now. We had whole three of us here. I want to just be a little, even though we're all good, I still want to do it. But there are many times that, let's say I'm standing on a platform to board a train, and it's cold outside, and then I go on the train, and again I'm wearing the mask on the train, and my glasses fog up. And every single time they fog up, it gives me the feeling inside of what you are going through, Dave, what you're going through, and everyone else out there as far as what you're going through. And there are many times that I will actually keep it foggy intentionally.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Just so I can understand and have a better idea.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that actually before we finish. That's a really good analogy and a great kind of way of looking at things, because especially for something like RP, because basically what you're doing there is you've got no choice other than to use your eyes, because your eyes are working, but they are obstructed by the mist on your glasses or the tunnel of vision that we have, and you're basically forced to use something that's not working properly, but it's broken. It's not completely broken, so you're not using your other senses like those people who have no useful sight, but you're using something where there's very limited vision and you've got no other choice but to use it. You can't like not see out your eyes that little bit. And seeing with that mist, that fog on the glasses is a really very close representation of what it's like.
Yeah, and just for the record, I did snow blow the walkway in that mist. And I mean this with true sincerity here, and I'm not looking to, God forbid, talk down or anything like that. But I specifically wanted to, keep it there and just really get a better understanding, because,
I totally understand that. Totally
I eat, leave and breathe sight loss, and this community means so much to me, and the work that we do here collectively, it means so much to me. So, but
too.
that piece of poetry really just, it made me say, I want to bring that point out. So
thank you. And once again, a big thank you to everyone that's joined in again on another great week of Tea and Poetry.
Incredible week.
Can't wait for next week, and can't wait to find out the surprise.
Yes, you. I know. I better be ready.
Yeah, tune in.
Tea and poetry. That's all I have to say. Tea and poetry.
Okay.
All right. Saying so long. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay healthy. Stay safe. If you are going to watch the Super Bowl, enjoy. May your favorite team win, and we will see you next week.
Go Ravens.
Go Ravens.
Hi, everyone.
I know Sedona Day is going for Mr. Brady.
Not even close, brother.
Not even
Not
close.
even close.
All right. All right. Take care.